is April Myrie with Black Hills Federal Credit Union, and I am extremely honored to MC today's historic event for Levitt at the Falls. There are a number of people behind behind me that would like to say a few words of congratulations, but before we get to them, I'm going to read just a little bit about Levitt at the Falls. The City of Sioux Falls Parks and Recreation Department, in partnership with Friends of Levitt Shell Sioux Falls and the National Levitt Foundation, are excited to announce the completion of the Levitt Shell at Falls Park West. Development of Falls Park West and Levitt Shell started in the spring of 2018 with the goal of creating a venue to support the Levitt Concert Series and other community events. The project cost approximately $4.35 million, which was funded by a combination of city contributions, the National Levitt Foundation, and the Friends of Levitt Shell Sioux Falls. With the ribbon cutting ceremony today, we welcome Levitt at the Falls as a new member of the Sioux Falls Area Chamber of Commerce and thank them for their investment. I am extremely honored to MC this historic event. I've emceed a number of ribbon cuttings throughout this year, but this one truly means a lot because of what it's going to do for our community, for our residents, and our city. So thank you for everyone involved with that.
Thank you, April. Wow, what a great day, huh, finally? Yeah, and we're in the shade up here, it's great. You look around, go ahead and look around. I see at least two cranes. There's one back there, there's one there. There's good things happening. There's going to be a crane over here soon. This is a great part of downtown and a lot of great things happening. And arts and entertainment is really thriving in our city. And we've been talking about this project for a while. It's put some gray heads on some people's, or hairs on some people's heads, but this is a great day to finally be here. And I want to specifically thank the city leaders who were a big part of this. And I don't know if is Mayor Huther here, but he maybe here. I want to thank Mayor Huther for his leadership in helping get this thing across the start at the beginning. The counselors, my current counselors, Counselor Pat Starr, Teresa Staley, Janet Brecky, Greg Neitzer, Christine Erickson, Rick Kiley, Marshall Selberg, and Kurt Sale, and then Rex Rolfing and Michelle Erpenbach. So again, without our council support, the city wouldn't be a part of this thing. So please join me in giving them a round of applause. And especially I want to thank Don. Don, and he's got to speak next, but Don has put a lot of time into this, and we've been meeting for over a year now, and every month he's like, hey, here's where we're at the Levitt, here's where we're at the Levitt, and he's been such a good champion for this project. So you can rest assured you got great city leadership, and Don is another good example of a good leader in our city. So Don, I want to specifically thank you for all the great work you do. So we'll keep passing the mic. There's a lot of people who want something to say up here, so I'll turn it back over to April. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, next up to say a few words of congratulations, representing our Ambassador Committee, we have Mike Hauk with Minuteman Press.
Thanks, April. I was told to keep this short and sweet because I could go on and gush about this for hours, but from the first time that I heard this was coming, I was so excited about what this is going to do for downtown, for our community, for the music scene here. Super excited to be here today and see this finally come to fruition. Thanks to everyone from the beginning, the people that helped raise money, the city, the board, the staff. It's just been great to see it all come together and watch it rise up. We're so excited. Best wishes for great success.
Thank you, Mike. And up to represent the Diplomat Committee, we have Gita Hendricks with Yoli.
Thank you, Michelle. What a wonderful day. And isn't it great that we finally have summer? I cannot wait for next weekend when we'll be able to see the first concert. On behalf of the Diplomat Committee, I congratulate every one of you. Thank you for making Sioux Falls continue to grow and be the absolute best in the region. This is part of that growth, and we really appreciate what you have done, and we're all going to enjoy it. So on behalf of the Diplomat Committee of the Sioux Falls Chamber of Commerce, I congratulate you and thank you again.
Next up, representing the Young Professionals Network, we have Andrea Miller with Journey Group.
Well, I am so excited about Levitt at the Falls. I remember the summer after my junior year in college, sitting on the green space in downtown Boston and listening to a free concert. And from that moment on, I will always support the music scene and fine arts for the rest of my life. And also in downtown Kitzingen, Germany, where they had another free concert, and how that shared experience completely strengthened that small town community. It was an incredible experience. And so from this heart to yours, and from the Young Professionals Network, congratulations, and thank you for bringing this to Sioux Falls.
Thank you, Andrea. Well, Don, come on up here. It's your turn to say a few words, and then introduce people behind you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. Obviously, this is a truly special day. A day that's been a long time in coming. A lot of people that have really been involved in this, and I think we can all agree by the beautiful amphitheater that we have here, the lawn, and all the other support amenities is certainly worth the wait. First of all, I want to thank the mayor and the city council again. I know the mayor acknowledged former Mayor Huther, but prior to the mayor being elected, I had an opportunity to meet with the mayor just to talk about all things Parks and Recreation. And one of the things we talked about was the Levitt Shell and the status of that project. And literally the first things to come out of his mouth were, I fully support that project. I really like that project, and I'm going to support it going forward. And so that was great to hear. And so, Mayor, thank you for your support and just ongoing support for really promoting what the Levitt's going to do for Sioux Falls. So hands off to Mayor Ten Hankin as well. You know, one of the things that kind of came up when we were talking about Levitt, and Tom Dempster originally had the idea and a lot of other people got involved, was can we really do this? Can we pull off 50 free concerts? Can we afford it? Can we this? Can we this? And ultimately everybody came together, and just thrilled at the fact that as of next Friday, we will be the 8th city in America to have a Levitt Shell. And if you think about the other cities that have a Levitt Shell, they're much, much bigger than Sioux Falls. And for Sioux Falls to be able to pull this off is a testament to not only the city leadership, the Friends of Levitt Shell Sioux Falls, a local nonprofit, the national Levitt organization, but all the people in the community that have supported this project and helped raise money so that we can have that public-private partnership. The other thing I wanted to share was that our Parks and Recreation Board has been very supportive. It's something that they looked at. They worked on the design with us, the master plan for Falls Park West, so that we could be able to create that. If the park board members are here, I know I see several of them, if they could just raise their hand and be recognized for their efforts. They've been great and supportive. The other thing I wanted to do is thank the Levitt Board of Directors. Simply put, they're a shining example of how to run a nonprofit. Simply put, I'm not on their board. They invite me to the meetings and let me sit in a corner and listen in a little bit. But as you go watch them go about their work, there's no challenge that's ever been too big for them to overcome. There's no hurdle that they couldn't get over in the process of making this project a reality. And it's just really been a great journey with them and a great partnership between the city and the national and the local organization. And hats off to the Friends of Levitt, if you'd help me with a round of applause there too. Earlier this week, Mayor Ten Hankin rolled out what he called challenge coins, and these little coins that you use to recognize people that support the core values of the city of Sioux Falls that the mayor put together as part of his One Sioux Falls framework. And each department got 12 coins to hand out over the course of the next year. And so these are pretty prized possessions. But you know, a lot of these are going to go to city employees, but he said they don't just have to go to city employees, they can go to others as well. And so what I'd like to do in recognition of the teamwork core value as part of One Sioux Falls, I'd like to give this coin to the Friends of Levitt Shell Sioux Falls, a local nonprofit, and ask Jennifer Kirby to come up and accept this award. Last but not least, it takes a team of folks to pull off a project of this size. Certainly want to thank Perkins and Will for the beautiful design on the shell and the architectural elements here. They were the same team that worked on the event center. So they're out of Denver, and they were very helpful in pulling this all together. Stockwell Engineers, I'm sure there's representatives from Stockwell out there. They provided the civil engineering and the landscape architecture. The Visions Construction, they have just been so accommodating, flexible. They even put the little guitar door handles on the doors themselves and custom made those, and just even served us burgers one day. So Bob, thank you for all your flexibility. The entire Visions Construction group is great to work with. Also wanted to thank Mike Patton, Jackie Nelson, and Kathy Buheim. They've kind of been our core team that's worked with Nancy and her team, and Jennifer, and the contractors, and all the other coordination that needs to go on as far as permitting, those kinds of things to make sure that we're all doing things the right way. So hats off to our staff, to the architectural team, the construction manager, and then also want to thank Dina Knudsen from City Engineering. She was assigned to this project on Public Works' behalf. And so how about a round of applause for all those folks? And I would just close by thanking one other person. She was here at our groundbreaking, but that's Kim McIntosh. Kim is with the South Dakota Department of Environment and Natural Resources. And if those of you who've been around Sioux Falls a while back realize that what this site used to look like. It used to be an industrial site. It was contaminated. Kim was involved in the cleanup efforts of this site. And one of the things that we were challenged with is what can we do on this site, knowing the environmental concern that was here. And she really stepped forward and say, hey, I'll support development on this site. I'll support making some things happen here to turn what really was a blighted area into a real gem for all of Sioux Falls and the surrounding region. So hats off to Kim McIntosh from DNR. Again, she's not here, but without her, everything's got to go through her as far as development on this site. So really appreciate her efforts and appreciate all the donors and everybody else that I previously mentioned. So again, thank you for all your efforts. Now I'd like to turn over to Lorraine Lindquist. I mentioned the Parks and Rec Board has been actively involved, and Lorraine is our president of the Parks and Rec Board.
Wow, is this a pinch me moment or what? I mean, you did it, Sioux Falls. And I was just telling Don earlier today that, in the scheme of things, how the city, the pace at which it moves and stuff, I think it's been about 8 years, and that's really pretty quick, from start to finish for a city project. So I just want to say, on behalf of the Sioux Falls Parks and Rec Board, a big thank you to everyone who helped to make this day happen. I mean, I do well remember having some of the local members of the Friends of the Levitt come and speak to us at one of our board meetings. And they shared the mission of the Mortimer and Mimi Levitt Foundation, and also their vision of what having a Levitt of our own could mean for the city of Sioux Falls. And they went on to share that passion and that excitement with civic leaders and with community leaders. And they signed on then too to become part of this project through the Chamber appeal and now through ongoing sponsorships of the concerts and other sponsorship opportunities. So thank you to all who have been part of this. Our Sioux Falls Parks and Rec Board has had the opportunity to be part of some pretty spectacular projects in recent years, but I don't think that there are any that we're more excited about than the Levitt at the Falls, because it has the potential to just positively impact everybody here in Sioux Falls, every citizen, young and old, an entire cross-section of our community. There's going to be opportunity for us to all be out there on that beautiful lawn enjoying live performing arts together. And what if you're a visitor to our city and you happen upon the Levitt on a concert night? What a fantastic treat that's going to be for people. What a special treat. And what about this location? It's pretty much perfect, don't you think? And I know our board was thrilled when this particular site here in Falls Park was chosen for our Levitt. It fits in perfectly with a master plan for generations to come for what our namesake park can be. And many of you have gotten a copy of this brochure, and I predict that by the end of the summer, it will be very well worn. You've probably already looked through it, circled some concerts that you don't want to miss, put some dates on your calendar, put some dates in your phone, made plans with family and friends to attend a concert together. I guess the only question that's left is, are you going to bring a picnic along, or are you going to enjoy something from one of the food truck vendors that are going to be part of the Levitt scene? In the years to come, I'm certain that the release of the schedule for the Levitt concerts is going to be something that is highly anticipated. And people are going to make their summer plans around it. And they're going to make memories. And I invite you to be part of that and make your own memories. And we'll see you at the Levitt. And now I'd like to introduce Nancy Halverson, the Executive Director of the Friends of the Levitt Shell.
Thank you. Gosh, this is so exciting. Who's ready for some free music next Friday? A week from Friday. All right. So 30 concerts, it's a big deal, and we are so excited. And it takes a team of people to put this together. So I want to first give some love to our staff. Roseanne Huffland over there taking pictures as we speak. He is our Director of Community Engagement and Marketing. Tom Eisner is our Director of Operations, somewhere out there. Tom, wave. And then Laura Mullen, also out there somewhere, is our Manager of Volunteers. So we would love to have you volunteer and come help us out. So please be in touch with some of these lovely people and get involved. I have to say, many of you know my story. I was gone for 12 years, came back to Sioux Falls because our family just loves this community. But to have the opportunity to come back and be a part of something as special as this is truly, truly a remarkable opportunity in a lifetime. So I want to thank you for giving my family and me this great opportunity. And I have to say, to work with the board that we have has been a gift. Many of you know that this has been a big part of their lives, some of them for almost a decade. The love and passion and commitment that they've poured into this is truly, truly remarkable. So if you're one of our board members, past or present, would you give us a wave? Because I want you to see how many people have been involved in this. Thank you. So we look forward to seeing you out this summer. Yes, bring a picnic, bring some sunscreen, bring your friends and family, and come enjoy some great free music. I have the distinct opportunity now to introduce to someone you probably know well, but I have been very blessed to get to know her in this process, Jennifer Kirby. Jennifer has been the chair of our board now, and she and Joe have played a significant role in helping to fund the project. So I really want to thank them for their commitment, for their time, and Jennifer for your leadership and your friendship. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know, this is a special day. I just thought we were going to work on this forever. I didn't really think we'd have like a ribbon cutting, an actual venue. So it is a pinch me moment. When Sharon Yasowski, the National Executive Director, came to Sioux Falls, she said, you know, a lot of things have to go right in order for a community to get a Levitt. In fact, she said the stars really have to align. And I think not only the stars align in Sioux Falls, but the planets align. And I'd like to just go through some of the major players that all came into alignment in order for us to be here today. Starting out, Tom Dempster received a phone call from a high school friend in 2011 who lived in California. And that friend said, you need to have a Levitt in Sioux Falls. And so Tom, being an open-minded, big thinker, said, well, tell me more. And Tom contacted the national office, got a group of people together, and Sharon Yasowski came to visit Sioux Falls. She was impressed, and as she left, she said, Sioux Falls is approved as a future Levitt venue. The following year, my husband and I moved from California back to Sioux Falls, and I had coffee with Candy Hansen, and I said, you know, I really want to get involved in the community, but I want it to be an active involvement. I don't just want to passively attend meetings. And she said, she said, I think the most exciting thing happening right now is the Levitt. And so she put Tom and I in touch with each other, and in 2012, Tom and I started recruiting a board. So I know you've already been introduced, but thank you to the board members. That was a super important step in our development. The City of Sioux Falls has been tremendously cooperative from the very beginning. The Park and Rec Board, Don Kearney and the Park and Rec Department, Mayor Mike Huther found funding for us in the CIP budget. Without that, we would not be here today. Then Mayor Tenhaken carries on that commitment to this project, which we're very grateful for. The City Council approved the funding. Without that, we wouldn't be here. And then a very key planet that had to line up, which I think is another critical piece, was the Chamber of Commerce. And Levitt at the Falls was approved as a community appeals campaign. And without that approval, I don't think we could have raised the necessary money that we needed to raise. So that was a key moment. In fact, I'll never forget getting the phone call from the Community Appeals Committee saying that you'd been chosen, because I was driving and I pulled over because I thought, if it's bad news, I don't want to be driving. And if it's good news, I don't want to be driving. So that was a pivotal step in our organization's development. We had about 50 volunteer fundraisers as part of our fundraising effort. We have a few hundred donors, and those were also, without them, we wouldn't be here today. And then finally, Nancy Halverson, her staff, Laura Mullen, Roseanne Hoffland, Tom Eisner. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd have staff this qualified, thoughtful, and proactive. And so I'm thrilled to death. So I hope to see you at a lot of concerts this summer. We have a beautiful venue, but I think what's going to take place at the concerts is going to be even more beautiful and special and spectacular. And here's Tom Dempster, the guy who got this all started.
Amen, April. Amen, members of the chamber. Amen, Mr. Mayor. Amen, Don. Amen, Lorraine. Amen, Nancy. Amen, Jennifer. And amen to all of you. Jennifer Kirby, about 6 weeks ago, I think it was after a board meeting, Jennifer Kirby stood up and said, "You know, Tom, I don't know how this happened. It's just magic." When Tim Bowe called 8 or 9 years ago, I don't know why Tim Bowe called us. I don't know why he called me. I don't know why he thought of Sioux Falls, his homestead. It's just magic. When I called Candy Hansen, then at the Community Foundation, and she said, "Tom," she says, "you've got to get Jennifer Kirby involved." Why did that happen? Well, I don't know. It's just magic. When Jennifer Kirby and I started calling and recruiting our board, every last one of them to this impossible dream said yes. Why did that happen? I don't know. It's just magic. We called Larry Toll, we called Rob Joyce just to kind of check with those people who might think that we might be the competition, and the response from people and people like them was go, go, go. Why did they say that? Well, I don't know, but it's just magic. When we talked to Don Kearney, and when we talked to the Parks Board, and when they told us their dreams of making this park the central park of Sioux Falls, and how the Levitt could possibly fit into that, how did that happen? I don't know, but it's just magic. Well, when Sharon Yazowski, who's the executive director of the Levitt Foundation, came to Sioux Falls, and we pulled our board together, and we met with the mayor, and we had conversations with her. Why did she come to Sioux Falls? Levitt has a minimum population standard then of 250,000 people, and I think now it's 400,000 people. Why did she come to a city with 180,000 people? I don't know. It's just magic. When we dropped Sharon off at the airport, We said to Sharon, well, now we know this is not true because there were many miles to go, right? But when we dropped Sharon off at the airport, our question was, just when she opened the door to get into the airport, I said, Sharon, what more do we need to do to get your commitment? And as she opened the door and left and walked into the airport before she closed the door, she stuck her head into the car and she says, you haven't. How did that happen? I don't know. It's just magic. This was 7 or 8 years. The city, when we met with Mayor Huther and when we met with the city council, there was excitement. There was excitement. And then came due diligence and due diligence and due diligence and due diligence and the CIP process, just as you would expect there to be. And finally, the city says, we're in. How did that happen? I don't know. It's just magic. I talked to Miriam Broyne just about, 5 or 6 or 7 or maybe 15 minutes ago, and it was a long process. And I said, Miriam, how many times did our board take a revote? And what was that revote? The revote was, we need to vote once again whether or not we choose to continue this process, whether or not we think we can be successful. And there were 3 votes, and if there had been 1 no vote in that process, this whole thing would not have happened. Every time, yes, yes, yes. How did that happen? Well, I don't know. It's just magic. But Mayor Huther, and now our existing mayor, all of them have said, go, go, go. Magic, magic, magic. The community appeals process, the first time we asked was exactly when they said, we approve and go. How did that happen? I don't know, it's just magic. How did Nancy Halverson happen? How did she become available just when now this begins? I don't know. That's magic too. But what's really magic is this building in this place. But what's magical about this begins next Friday. And for the rest of the season, 30 free concerts to bring us all together as a community. And what happens next year? It's magical. 50 free concerts, and the year after that, 50 free concerts, and the year after that, 50 free concerts, and then by contract, 47 years more. It's just magical. Thank you very much for all of your support. Thank you very much for all of your work. Thank you for this magic, magic, magic.
Thank you, Tom. Well, you talk about all this magic that you guys have incurred and endured, and if this is all magical, you guys are the most wonderful magicians I've ever seen. You guys have brought such a wonderful thing to Sioux Falls. We will be forever indebted to you, so thank you for that. Appreciate it. One last order of business, and that is to present the plaque and cut the ribbon. And representing our board of directors, we have Steve Van Busker with Van Busker Companies.
Tom, it's hard act to follow. Of course, I get to follow Tom here for a second, but thank you all for coming. You know, and what follows that magic is excitement. And I saw Terry Ellis just slip out of here, but you know, this venue is going to have impact in Sioux Falls for years and years to come. The excitement from this venue, that's going to help that tourist trade that the CVB is out there doing. And that's one of the reasons why the Chamber gets involved. We're talking about the Chamber appeals, and just want to think about that for a second. That's why the Chamber gets involved in these projects. It hits different needs. Another thing that this facility does, and why the Chamber appeals supported this project right out of the gate, was it improves the quality of life. You know, we want our kids to find reasons to stay here and go to school and enjoy Sioux Falls and come back here and raise their families and help this city continue to grow. So that hits on another need that the Chamber, why the Chamber supports projects like this and other lifestyle projects. So it's an exciting thing. And then finally, the third thing that I think this really hits with the Chamber appeals and the Chamber membership and why there's so much support for this type of thing is the inclusivity. You know, a big piece of this project is that it brings people in from all walks of life. I've had the pleasure of going out to the national event and listening to the stories from all across the country. All walks of life are going to come here and mingle, and their kids are going to play together. Our city's changing. We've got a lot of different cultures and languages here, and it's going to take some time to bring us all together. So we are all together, and this is a very important piece of the puzzle. So it's exciting to see. Congratulations to all of you that's worked so hard, all the board members, all the fundraisers, the chamber members that stepped up and contributed cash right along with everybody else. So thank you all. I really appreciate it. I also should announce you get stuck with the scrub because the chair at the board's right over there, Tim Sturtevant. So I don't know how that happened, but anyway, welcome, Tim. But so I've got a plaque down here that I'm going to present, and you know, this plaque says it's on behalf of the chamber, and this really is an important statement on this particular project, because this is on behalf of the chamber to bring something like this to life, a small part of it, because it took lots of volunteers like my wife, who's been on the board since 2012. You know, there's a lot of people that just said, yeah, I'll help. You know, you talk about the magic, they just said yes when the call came. So to all those volunteers, thank you so much. So we've got a plaque that says, congratulations are extended to the Levitt at the Falls. We share our sincere best wishes for your success and continued growth in the Sioux Falls area. It's signed by Jason Ball, our president, and Tim Sturtevant, the guy right over there. So with that, I think we're going to cut a ribbon, aren't we? Yes. Yeah, awesome.